Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 23-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today, the Pod Father. And yes, I do hail from Toronto, Ontario, Canada now, as I am the Canadian sympathizer on the show. I got my tag team partner on the line, the Jimmy to my J, the Tully to my R, and the Stevie Ray to my Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the current reigning, defending, first ever, now 7-time Bullet Cast champion, the host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, BT Brandon Tan Guma. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going great. You know, summer's officially over. I'm back to school. I saw we have a question in the fan mail that we're going to be talking about school. But it's great to be back, Phillip. Big weekend for wrestling this week. Maybe the biggest of the year.
It is. It's a very big weekend for wrestling. And we're not alone. We have a third man. He's like Hogan, except without the racist rants. Ladies and gentlemen, another former Bullet Cast champion, Carlos Mex Mendoza. How's it going, buddy?
Wait, you compare me to Hulk Hogan?
I said without the racist rants.
That's still, I mean, I am immortal, but I'll take that. I'll take that.
You know, I'm Hall, Brandon's Nash, so I mean, that's where we had to go.
I'll be the Seth Rollins of the group, you know, just the awkward person in the background.
That's
you know what I'm talking about?
I got you. So who gets to be Dean?
No, I was talking about the Raw reunion show.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go. I thought we were gonna go in that route. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about. All Out is this weekend. I was supposed to be in Chicago for it, but extenuating circumstances has the Podfather residing in Hayward, California, from his estate to watch All Out. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to go inside of the ring first up because Brandon reported this on Under the Radar. Jon Moxley is out of All Out. He has MRSA, staph infection that's returned to his elbow. He took to Twitter. He said he's out of the fight against Kenny Omega this Saturday, and it sucks, man. I was really looking forward to this. You know, he's getting surgery so that he can be ready for TV. Brandon, I know you talked about this on Under the Radar, but what's your overall thoughts yet again about the boy Jon Moxley not being able to wrestle Kenny Omega this Saturday?
Well, I could barely hear you over all that background noise, but I think you were talking about Jon Moxley getting MRSA in his elbow. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not fine. But I'm saying that this could possibly be a blessing in disguise for AEW because All Out, it's a pretty big show. It's pretty stacked. And the Jon Moxley Kenny Omega thing was a big match. You know, I think maybe they've rushed it just a little bit. I think with the TV show coming up, that could be definitely like the big match that they can keep in their back pocket to save for, you know, maybe in November or whenever, you know, in between the next big show, between All Out and whenever the next big show will be. So I think, I mean, obviously, hopefully, John gets healthy and everything is all fine and dandy with his elbow. He says once he gets the surgery, it'll clean up. He'll be 100% well and good. So hopefully that happens. But I think this will, in the long term, be a good thing for AEW because I think the replacement with Pac and Kenny Omega is going to be a fantastic match. We can talk about the predictions a little bit later, but I think Kenny and John, if they tell a good story, you know, throughout the weeks on AEW's television shows, this match could be even bigger and mean even more than what it could have meant this weekend.
Yeah, Carlos, I know you're a big Kenny Omega mark. You have any thoughts about Moxley missing out at All Out?
You know what? I think he just didn't want to catch any of Kenny's knees to the face, you know?
Okay, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. Like, Buddy Murphy, because as the world knows, I'm pretty high on Buddy Murphy. I'm all about that Australian persuasion. Look, better knees than Kenny Omega. And, go ahead. I'm sorry for burying Kenny.
Nah, but in all honesty, I think, you know, it's kind of messed up that happened to Moxley. But, I mean, he did wrestle 24 days in a row at New Japan, so it's understandable injuries happen, but, like, for him to keep on doing indie shows right after the G1, not taking some time off, like all the other heavyweights in New Japan do, it makes sense. Like, you know, like injuries happen.
Yeah, no, Mox wanted to work, and especially with staph infection. I mean, that's a very serious disease or infection that can be contracted a number of ways. I mean, during my amateur wrestling days, my whole team got wiped out of staph infection. Besides myself and like two other guys, is contracted from sweat and dirty mats and dirty surfaces and people not taking hygiene to the best of their consideration and. It's just a whole lot, man. So hopefully Mox is going to be cleared up. He said he's going to be ready to go for the TV tapings. But is this a bad omen for All Elite Wrestling?
I don't think so.
Brandon?
I don't think so. I think you're insinuating that maybe New Japan's a dirty promotion.
I mean, they got rid of Kenny Omega. They've cleaned up quite well. My boy Jay White didn't win.
But their mats are still dirty.
Oh, their mats are still dirty. They're dirty like I. Oh my God, I was gonna go in a completely different direction. I'm glad I didn't say that. But they're dirty because my boy Jay White didn't win the G1.
I guess. I mean, the Booker is in his corner, anyways. So
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
no, keep going. Anybody? Yes? No? I mean, Moxley was replaced by Pac, and what's the stance going to be? We can talk about that once Brandon and I get into the predictions for All Out and talking about that. But Pac, he's no longer the Dragon Gate champion or whatever, so maybe he's free to take the L against Kenny Omega. We could say.
Quite possibly, we're going to have to get into that on the. I can hear you perfectly fine. I don't know what Phillip's doing over there.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to respond to his questions over here, but I can't hear him sometimes.
What do you mean?
We're just
talking just fine.
We're doing this three-way for the first time, and we're messing up. We're trying to expand the Bulletcast technological advances, and we're still hitting some bumpy roads.
I can hear both of you guys perfectly.
So back to the question: Dragon Gate, Pac losing the title.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to take the L against Kenny Omega? I guess that's a big question.
I think so. If he doesn't take the L here, because he says his contract doesn't allow him to, or some stuff like that, wrestling politics. I think Pac is just crybaby. I mean, he left the WWE because he didn't want to lose to Enzo. He didn't want to lose to Paige to compete for the AW Heavyweight Championship. So if he doesn't want to lose to Kenny Omega, I just think he just wants to be he just wants to have a winning streak, but you can't always have what you want, right?
He's the modern day Bruiser Brody. Never lost. Shout out LeVar Ball.
Oh my God, I don't know how you managed to get a Bruiser Brody and LeVar Ball line into the same sentence, but kudos to you for that, Brandon. We're going to keep it rolling with the inside of the ring. NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff is this Saturday, the same day as All Out. They get some pretty big matches. I know Walter's defending the NXT UK title. But are you guys going to watch this and Royal Quest? Are you guys going to watch all three?
I'm going to do my best to try to watch everything. My father's birthday is this weekend, so I might not be able to watch any of it live, but I'm definitely going to try to stay off the social media, put my earmuffs on so I don't hear or see anything, but I'm going to try my hardest to watch all three. But in order, it definitely goes All Out first, then Royal Quest, and then whenever I get some free time, NXT UK TakeOver.
Yeah, I think the TakeOver comes on a little bit before All Out because obviously they're going to be in the UK, so that time-wise we get the first watch. But then my main priority is All Out, and then of course the analysis and recap that is going to be done after the show because that Bulletcast title's on the line, and Brandon, I'm coming for it.
You can come for it all you want, but doesn't mean you're going to get it.
I don't know. I've beat you at the last couple takeovers. We might as well just throw it on the line for the Cardiff takeover too. I don't know.
But then if we're going to throw it on for the takeover show, you have to throw it on for the Royal Quest show, and I got the home field advantage on that one.
New Japan's not worthy of getting a Bulletcast title defense. How was the Super Juniors thing at SF State, by the way, Brandon?
Oh, it was fantastic. I was going to wait a little bit for a Superstar Spotlight to talk a little bit more about it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, no, we got you. You can throw it down
Side note, I was waiting in line for merch, and Cain Velasquez was like 2 feet in front of me pushing a baby stroller. It was great.
Shout out Cain
Sounds
for
about
last
right.
place. All right, I guess we can hop into the outside of the ring. WWE is reportedly not granting any more early releases. Obviously, this has to do with guys wanting to jump ship to All Elite Wrestling, and then Mox, he waited out his contract and didn't get released early. But yeah, what are your thoughts on WWE kind of holding you down?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, as you kind of said. I mean, WWE doesn't want to grant anybody early releases because there's a wrestling war going on. If maybe some people might not see that, but AEW is throwing around big money, and there is a bunch of other indie promotions and other wrestling promotions that could nicely pay and give creative freedom to the wrestlers out there. And I think WWE, it's a contract. They have all the rights to hold on to them and to, they can release them if they want, but they can also keep them forever if they want. And I think the kind of shady aspect of it is where they kind of build time on top of each other for not wrestling because of injuries or whatever. So I think that's kind of the shady part, but I understand why they're not releasing anybody early.
No, I feel like they're also hiring people left and right for no reason. Like they're just buying people so they won't go to the competition.
I mean, they've been doing that for a while now. I mean, with the NXT takeover or with the NXT UK brand starting up, they have a performance center over there. The World of Sport was trying to take off in the UK, and that thing kind of died out. So I think we're definitely seeing WWE trying to take over region by region. And there's also reports out there that maybe there's going to be a Japanese performance center, maybe I don't know, Southern Europe performance center. I don't know.
I heard they might make a partnership deal with CML. I don't know, something about that, but it was rumored.
I thought Del Rio's new little promotion had a partnership with them.
Who knows?
Who knows? We shall see. Well, while we're talking NXT and all that other stuff, so Brandon was worried about NXT when it goes over to USA in a couple weeks. How long will it take for it to get on the network? There was a 24-hour turnaround, unlike Raw and SmackDown, because those deals are different. So NXT, as soon as it's over, they're going to work on it, and the next day it will be on the network.
It is better than a month compared to, for Raw and SmackDown, as you said. But in this day and age where everybody wants to just consume everything and everyone wants to just watch it watch it live, talk about it on social media, 24 hours is kind of a long time. I know that might seem kind of crazy for some people, but 24 hours is a long time for people who want to just consume everything. And there's a whole lot of different stuff out there to watch, especially in wrestling. So I mean, it's a good thing, I guess, that it's a 24-hour turnaround compared to a week or a month or whatever. But this still could affect, I think, WWE Network subscriptions, because a lot of people maybe are just there to watch NXT and the pay-per-views, and maybe they're not really too happy on what they're doing with the WWE product. Maybe they can skip out on the WWE Network. But I think they're still going to keep the takeover shows exclusively on the network, so that could also help keep subscriptions up. So maybe people leave and come back every 3-4 months whenever the takeovers are on.
Very well. Carlos, what are your thoughts on the 24-hour NXT deal that USA got?
I think for me it'll be perfect because I don't watch WWE live anymore. I haven't done that in years, so I think it's perfectly fine for somebody who watches something else in the meanwhile. Because I feel like honestly I'm gonna be in Planet Fitness watching AEW on TNT. But I don't think I'm going to be paying attention to the USA channel at all during the time. So I think 24 hours is perfectly fine to catch up with NXT the next day.
Yeah, they reportedly USA has paid $50 million for NXT. So that's
or you can just YouTube it.
But we don't promote pirating on this channel.
No, we do not. No, we do not.
But if you know, you can. There's means out there.
There are means, yes. CFO dollar sign, yes. No longer with WWE. They made some great entrance themes like Nakamura and Bobby Roode. So what does this mean for future stars? What's their music going to sound like, guys? Are they going to go back to having bands like the Randy Orton theme song and the Chris Jericho theme song and, of course, the Undertaker's American Badass theme song? Or are we just going to get instrumentals throughout the rest of WWE's existence? Brandon, go.
I mean, I don't know. I found out about this news a couple days ago, and I mean, Jim Johnston was great at what he did. CFO, whatever the hell you call it, CFOS, CFO dollar sign. I don't know what the hell you called them, but they did do a lot of great work for NXT and the people down there. So, I mean, maybe they're kind of moving in a different direction. Maybe they wanted more money. Maybe they creative differences. Who exactly knows? But I think in the end, WWE is going to find a suitable replacement. And I mean, especially down in NXT, I think the music choices they do, for the entrances, the takeover theme songs, and the theme songs, I think, if it starts at the ground floor with NXT and Triple H and all them, I have faith in the music for WWE going forward.
Yes. Carlos, you have any thoughts?
Honestly, I think their CFO money, whatever who they're called, their music has been going down like since over the last year. Like I can't think of any good themes that came out in the last year. But
Keith Lee's new theme song where he raps to it, it's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Really, I've not heard that. I need to check that out.
I mean, I didn't like Kushida's new theme. I miss his New Japan theme, but that's just my opinion.
Io Shirai's theme is straight fire.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, but I feel like they'll get somebody else right away. I mean, they probably have somebody else in works, but in all honesty, I think it was due to creative differences. Because I'm pretty sure those guys would come up with some great themes, and the WWE would be like, "No, you got to have this sound effect." Like Ricochet had to have that sound effect for his theme. So with Aleister Black, or when he made the main event to the main roster, he had to have that little door slamming sound or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, they do have little sound effects to kind of touch it up for main roster readiness. I guess if that's how you want to put it, but I don't know. CFO dollar sign. Appreciate you boys. You did some good work. Maybe they get Jim Johnston back because he.
Or maybe they defect to AEW because honestly, AEW's music, it's not that good.
It's not. I mean,
I'll be honest. The Kenny Omega theme, I know we've only heard it like 2 or 3 times. It's kind of trash.
Yeah. Every time I hear it, I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm like, oh, this is Kenny Omega.
That's little V who played the theme for Kenny Omega. He's a YouTuber. He allows people to use his music for
really?
non-copyrights.
I mean, shout out NXT, son of my boy Josiah Williams. He's doing the damn thing.
Shout out to them.
Shout out. Yeah, AEW music. I mean, Jericho, Judas. It's a godsend. Cody's Kingdom theme song's great. I don't know.
But those are theme songs they had before AEW.
That's true. It's also very true. So maybe they need to step their game up. Yeah.
Possibly. And like the Dustin Rhodes theme song is like a Pantera ripoff, so they're almost going like the Jimmy Hart WCW riff way of just like changing one little thing for the theme of the song, so you don't get a cease and assist.
Yeah, I mean, well, Dustin's music fits him, so that's fine. Sean Spears, his indie theme is very, very good. I don't know if it's the same as his AEW theme song. Don't quote me on that.
But we'll have to find out on Saturday.
What'd you say?
I mean, Jungle Boy's theme is different. Yeah, Jungle Boy's theme is different from the independent scene too. I mean, like we've seen Jungle Boy come out live, and his theme is totally different.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with that, but we are going to have to see. All right, we have a lot of couple news to get into. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch get hitched. The man's man is going to be the man's. Wait, so who's the groom in this situation?
I think they're wearing double tuxedos, and maybe Becky Lynch rocks the tuxedo shirt that she wore in the commercial.
Oh wow, that's I could see it happening. Shout out to Seth and Becky. Top champs getting engaged. I think they started dating earlier this year. Kind of a quick turnaround to put a ring on it, but that's you do you guys.
I'm calling it now. Becky Lynch wins the 24/7 championship in her wedding.
Let's not do any of that.
I am happy that they didn't like talk about it or do anything with them two on Raw. So like, oh my God, they're engaged, woo! Because I think they kind of need to stay away from coupling up those two on TV.
Oh no, they need to have a wrestler wedding, like Elizabeth and Macho Man. That's what we need. Or Edge and Vicky. That's what we need.
And then have Andrade and Charlotte Flair crash it.
Oh my God, I kind of pop huge for that. I'm not gonna lie. If we got Seth and Andrade, take my money, take it. All right, so Finn Balor, the Demon, he gets married. He gets hitched to I do not know her name, but she's a Mexican news anchor. So congratulations to Prince Devitt over here tying the knot.
Yeah, she's like she reports she interviews wrestlers in like the Mexican WWE channel or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I
I
believe
follow
she
her
works
Instagram.
for Fox Sports down in Mexico.
Oh, okay, there we go. Probably gonna have to do a little bit more research to find out what she's all about. But also Sean Spears, the Perfect 10, and Peyton Royce. They get married. Now they're on their little honeymoon. How exciting is that?
So exciting. Good for them.
Yes. A lot of you guys may not remember her, but Crystal Marshall, she was a WWE diva during the 2005, 2006 era of WWE. You know, she had storylines with Teddy Long. She was also once married to Bobby Lashley. She just got recently remarried, so congratulations to Crystal. Everybody getting married and engaged. It's a great time if you're in the wrestling business.
I'll be honest, I have no idea who this girl is.
Wow, Brandon.
I know.
I thought you were a historian of this business.
I thought I was, but I guess I need to do some more research. No, it's the end of summer. It's starting to become couple season. Everybody's getting married.
Everybody getting cuffed up.
Yep.
I mean, the Bulletcast DMs are wide open for, you know, the ladies know what it's open for.
No comment.
Oh, all right. Stephen Amell.
Be respectful out there.
Yeah. Be respectful to the Bulletcast DMs, you know. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm respectful. Shout out, what's his name? The dude 420. He's always like sending DMs.
What the Hootie Who guy? Yeah, we're gonna talk about Hootie Who when we get to the fan mail. Stephen Amell Arrow, he signs a TV deal. It's called Heels. It's a TV drama. I think it's gonna be on Stars or Showtime or something like that. Apparently, he's going to be playing an independent wrestler. It's going to be kind of a feel, kind of like Glow, and kind of like the Wrestler movie with Mickey Rourke that came out a decade ago. Guys, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm excited. I mean, Stephen Amell, avid wrestling fan. He's been in multiple wrestling matches, so he obviously knows what he's getting into. And I like Glow. I think it's going to be a different twist on wrestling. I think it's going to be a lot more serious, as you said, maybe more akin to the Wrestler movie. So hopefully they have a good team around it of people who know what they're doing and know about wrestling. So it could and should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is news to me right now, and this is the first I'm hearing about it.
Well, so what are your overall thoughts? Let's get that raw insight.
Well, it's Stephen Amell. Probably watched the first season. Like, I watched Arrow. Then fall off in season 2 somewhere. So, yeah, I hope it's good, like the Wrestler movie, like Ricky Rourke. How did you say his name?
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, that guy who punched Chris Jericho. Yeah.
WrestleMania 25.
Good times.
Yep, I mean, we shall see. All right, also, Ring of Honor might be back on cable TV. I know Sinclair Broadcasting, they just acquired some new media deals, and one of them may include Ring of Honor getting back on cable TV. Will that help Ring of Honor in any way? Because their show attendance is very, very bad right now.
ROH has been slipping, and even I don't watch the ROH product. I record it, but I've heard that it's not really a good television show. It's just kind of like a best of show, a clip show. It's not really, telling a cohesive storyline. So hopefully maybe this can reinvigorate the ROH booking crew. And if they do get on cable, and I mean, over here on the West Coast, they never come here unless there's a WrestleMania out here. So we don't really get a lot, or if any, ROH out here. I mean, I have to record it like on the Boston Red Sox channel that I get from DirecTV. So, I mean, speaking about us, obviously this isn't an ROH place, but hopefully they get on the come up, because they are not looking so good right now.
They are not. But you know who is on the come up in the digital media world? The audio digital media world? WWE. They got a partnership with Endeavor. They're going to be starting their own series of podcasts. I thought WWE would have hopped on this quite a while ago, because, in the last 5 years, the podcast game has really elevated. In the last 2 to 3 years, it's really skyrocketed with 83 weeks and something to wrestle, something else to wrestle, and basically every wrestler or person who has been in the wrestling business having a podcast, and every fan and their mother having a podcast, like us Jamotes right here. But guys, what are your thoughts on WWE hopping into the podcast game? Carlos, why don't you go first?
Excellent segue, by the way. But yeah, I think it's about time they did something like that because before they used to like promote Austin's podcast and they have people on from Raw or SmackDown on Austin's podcast with like a live recording on the WWE network, and then they'll have the Y2J's podcast, but they lost all connections with him. So now they have nobody to, have their super wrestlers really be on air with, So I think it's about time they made their own product instead.
Yeah, speaking of Jericho, he's coming out here in a couple weeks to do a Fozzy show. We going, boys?
September.
Maybe
12th.
If the plug hooks it up.
Maybe if the plug hooks it up. You're right. But Brandon, I know you talked about this on Under the Radar. What are your thoughts on WWE hopping into the podcast world?
I mean, it makes sense. Podcasting is bigger than ever. I just wonder what exactly this means in terms of what they're going to produce. Is it going to be, WWE centric in terms of like covering wrestling, wrestler interviews? Are they going to have like an up, down, down type podcast where it's like, wrestlers just doing other things besides wrestling and talking wrestling? So it could be fun in that sort of way. But I mean, this could also be like Tout or some other endeavor where they're into it for a couple months or a year and then it just falls off and nobody cares about it anymore.
Dude, Tout was great. Go back and watch those Raws from 2012. Tout was an amazing endeavor. I mean,
Daniel Bryan's still using Tout.
Really? Wow.
Well, he says he's going to have. Who do you think is going to have the best podcast?
I don't know, man. See, this is the thing. If it's kind of like not 205 Live, Jesus, Talking Smack, where it's kind of kayfabe, I think it'll be okay because there's way too much of people on social media where like Sasha Banks is the best example. She just turned heel, and then I see her on social media loving corgis and stuff. You're a bad guy. You're not supposed to love dogs. Like you're supposed to be a heel. What are you doing?
And Bayley continues to cheer her on, despite her being the most despicable heel on the women's roster.
I know. She attacked Nadia while she was talking about her dead father. And Sasha Banks is a terrible human being. Don't cheer her.
I never did, but hey.
Wow. Sasha Banks is incredible talent. How dare you?
She did great in the Hell in a Cell match. I give her that, but yeah.
But yeah, like I'm saying, if we can kind of kayfabe us a little bit, there can be some elements of realism here and there. But as long as you kayfabe us, it'll be just fine.
No lie though, I think Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in the podcast together.
They had one before. Back in the day.
Yeah, I think that will be great. I think that'll probably be the best show.
But we all know it's going to get watered down. It's not going to be the real Talking Shop.
That's true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, October 2nd, Total Divas makes its return. Brandon, I know you're very, very happy about this, but that's an interesting day because October 2nd is also the day that AEW launches on TNT. NXT will already be on Wednesdays, so that's a big day for the wrestling world.
I know, the wrestling wars continue to heat up, and WWE bringing out all the big guns for Total Divas to go head-to-head with AEW on October 2nd.
They got Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey going to be there. The very underrated Sonya Deville, Carmella, and all of the gang's going to be there. Oh, my. Wrestling on Wednesdays just got even better now with the return of Total Divas, which I've been on multiple times, by the way.
The Wednesday night war is real, brother.
Yeah. I think... Wait, what time is Total Divas going to be on?
I'm not sure.
All three shows on at the same time. It's going to be fantastic.
That's going to be interesting.
It's all going to be very, very great. Last up on Outside of the Ring. This is the longest Outside of the Ring in the history of this show. NWA, their TV tapings will happen at GPB Studios in Atlanta. The tickets are already on sale, so I do believe it's going to be kind of like the old school NWA back in the 80s where there's a nice little backdrop. There's interviews are going to happen, and then you walk over, and then the ring's going to be right there, slap dab in the middle. Got bleachers right there. Thoughts on NWA getting a TV deal?
Even more wrestling for us to consume.
I love it. I love it already. I love everything about it. All right, we're going to hop into this day in wrestling, guys. The big event was from 1986, happened on this day. You have Hulk Hogan beat Paul Orndorff via disqualification in Toronto, Canada, my new home. You have SummerSlam 1989. You have Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake defeat Macho Man Randy Savage and Zeus, aka Debo, from Friday. You have a WWF house show in 1994. You have Diesel and Shawn Michaels win the WWF Tag Team Championships by defeating the Head Shrinkers. There's a Nitro on this day in 2000. Big Sexy Kevin Nash beats Booker T to win back the WCW title in New Mexico. You also have, what do we got? A SmackDown in 2001 on this day. This is during the time of Kurt Angle and Steve Austin having their feud. Austin's wearing Angle's medals, kind of just toying with them a little bit. SmackDown in 2006, the in-ring debut of The Miz. Who does he defeat? Tatanka. Also, you have a SmackDown on this day in 2007. MVP Matt Hardy defeat Deuce and Domino. Shout out Domino, follows me on Twitter, for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And then, of course, Raw 2017. It is the beginning of the feud between Roman Reigns and John Cena, and they do that shoot promo where John tells Roman, you got to learn how to cut a promo sometime, kid.
That was a lot.
Wrestling historian.
Dude, like usually do 4 of them or 3 at most, but damn,
a lot of stuff happened on this day.
Now you see clearly?
Exact. Oh my god, that theme song was so great. If Edge comes back, I'm going to pop huge for the theme song, and then I'm going to pop huge for the greatest spear of all time. We've had that conversation a lot in the DM slides and the fan mail segments. Brandon, any thoughts on what happened on this day in wrestling?
No, a very historic day. I remember the John Cena and Roman Reigns squabble. The promo, maybe one of the better promos we've ever seen Roman Reigns cut before. And I remember that promo, maybe not the promo itself, but just that match. The show, I think it was No Mercy or whatever, was taking place down in LA. And I was very close to actually going to that show because I was kind of hyped for this match. But I think in the end I made the right decision because I think the match disappointed.
Oh, yeah, it did. It didn't hit me in that feel spot. All right, but we're going to get into fan mail. Alfie Lewis, have you guys tried the new Popeyes chicken sandwich, and can you say that it's better than Chick-fil-A's? Oh, well, I'm going to be honest with you. This chicken sandwich hype is kind of ridiculous. You know, you have people waiting 2 to 3 hours in line for a chicken sandwich. I heard somebody in East Oakland got robbed at gunpoint for their chicken sandwich. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you like this. I had it a couple weeks before the hype really started. It was okay. I had to see what the hype was, so I tried it again yesterday. It's nice. You know, I don't eat Chick-fil-A because I don't like the taste of racism. But, yeah, have you guys had this Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I have not. I'll be honest, I maybe waited in line for a little bit, but then it just took too long and then I left. There was a Popeyes literally down the street from me. So every time I go home, I like to see how long the line is. And it's crazy. Like, there are literally people waiting in the street to turn into the parking lot because they're waiting in line at the drive-thru for Popeyes. It's crazy.
I mean, you people.
It's an In-N-Out line, basically. And if you know In-N-Out, it's bad.
You people won't wait in line to vote, but you'll wait in line for a chicken sandwich. You people disgust me. Carlos, have you had the sandwich?
Nah, I'm not even interested. I'd rather get some tacos.
Wow.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I think it's a conspiracy. They're probably making it. No, they're probably making people pay attention to the chicken sandwich instead of something else happening in the world right now.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely what's going on. It's even made.
I do love the memes of the Popeyes workers being exhausted and just, comparing them to the greats like Michael Jordan and everybody, because those Popeyes workers, they deserve our love and affection.
I mean, some of these memes have been hilarious. I know the boy Bimbo Jimbo from the Click podcast threw on his Instagram story the McChicken, and it said they'll be back when they're broke, which that's actually kind of funny. The McChicken has gotten me through some tough times in my life. When I was young and didn't have that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I got this podcast money. Actually, I don't have any podcast money. I don't get paid for this. If you want us to be signed on your network, please slide into the Bulletcast DMs. We'll be happy to oblige.
Go to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy a t-shirt.
Buy a damn t-shirt. Have you boys bought a t-shirt yet?
I'm a weekly fixture on the show. I don't think I should buy a t-shirt. I should get one for free. They should send me one.
Carlos, have you bought a t-shirt yet?
I'm a former Bulletcast champion. I deserve one.
Everybody wants free ones, but nobody's willing to buy one.
That's a damn shame. Go buy a t-shirt, jabronis. Next up, Hootie Hoo 420. Yes, since Corbin sat on the throne Monday night, he better not effing win. Jesus.
I think they're definitely playing up the hate and the fear of Baron Corbin becoming king of the ring. But fear not, I don't think he's actually going to win. I think they're just trolling.
King Corbin better win. All hail King Corbin all day, baby.
What if Brock comes in and knocks somebody out in the tournament and becomes King Brock Lesnar the second or something like that?
The second,
Because
Brock
he
Lesnar.
won it already. He won it once already.
Thou shalt hail down to King Brock Lesnar the second.
He did that for the Money in the Bank.
Carlos, how do you feel about the King of the Ring being a real Game of Thrones?
You know, as long as my boy Andrade wins, we're all good right here.
I mean, we're gonna talk about stuff like that. Jack of all trades, guys. What's the next wrestling show that you are going to? I believe it's Brendan and I will be at the Raw at the Chase Center, coming up was that September 23rd, and then a few days after that we are going to Daly City for APW. We got a nice little interview coming up that night.
And then Hell in a Cell is like the first week of October, and I'm looking to go there in Sacramento.
Are you going to take me with you?
I mean, I don't know. Are you gonna get a ticket?
Oh, yeah, of course.
We'll discuss later.
Well, we will discuss later. Carlos, you got any wrestling shows going on in your life, man?
Yes, San Jose Super Showdown for New Japan on November the 8th or 9th.
Wow, okay. That seems like it's going to be a good one.
I heard the San Francisco crowd for the best of the super, not the best of the Super Juniors, but the New Japan Junior Cup. They popped huge when they announced it for the San Jose.
Hey, I believe they did, man. It's a little closer. All right, Jack of all trades also says, P.S. King Corbin kind of has a nice ring to it. I told you. Guys.
King who?
King Corbin.
Who?
Me and Hootie Hoo do not want King Corbin.
You guys don't. Alfie Lewis, you guys got any more interviews coming out and any potential interviews? Yeah, we do have one scheduled for at the end of September. And potential, I'm going to let you guys know. I have emailed a lot of people. It's a long list. Former women's champions, former Intercontinental champions, a WWE Hall of Famer. 2 WWE Hall of Famers I've emailed to try to get on the show. I'm shooting high, guys. Not getting nothing back.
You miss all the shots you don't take.
Exactly, you miss all the shots you don't take. I guess, does he want names? Is that it?
Yeah.
Caitlyn, Celeste Bonin, a.k.a. Celeste Bonin, and Melina, Vicky Guerrero. I'll just throw those names out there. If you guys hear this, we'd love to have you on the show discussing your careers. Yeah.
You didn't tell me that you're trying to interview Melina.
I threw her a couple emails, bro. If you have an in with Melina, let's make that happen.
Please. I love Melina.
I love Melina too. She was one of my favorites of all time. She's in my top 10.
Splits.
Okay. That's uncalled for now.
She's a very nice lady.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right,
she's cool.
Your boy Hootie Hoo slides in again.
Hootie Hoo double slide.
Phillip, if I offended you with my prom night joke last week, I'll apologize after this Baron Corbin praise stops. Bro, it'll never stop. I'm on the Corbin train all day, every day, baby. And then he also says, P.S., boys, would you risk it all and take a dive for Sasha Banks after seeing her in those leather pants Monday night? I'm not. Hey, look, I'd play the zipper sound effect, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah. If I had a woman that I could risk it all for, it'd be Sasha Banks. I think so, yeah.
She is a married woman, so I'm going to respect her boundaries.
Oh, no, I'm respecting boundaries also. I'm just saying, if I had to risk it all.
Going to risk it for the Popeyes biscuit? Full circle.
It all comes around.
All right, Jack of all trades, you guys should incorporate trivia into the show. I think it would make it really interesting to see how much you guys know about the biz. Much love, Joat. He's the Joat, baby. I think incorporating trivia would be a nice touch for the Bulletcast. I've been thinking about doing that for quite some time since Brandon and I fancy ourselves as wrestling historians. All right, next up we got In Brightest Day X, one of the graphic designers for the BC. Will Pac versus Omega be as big of a draw as Omega versus Moxley was going to be? Brandon, why don't you take that one?
I don't think it will because I think AEW definitely wants Moxley to be a draw. So hopefully, I know you don't want people to not tune in, but I think you want people to be swayed to not tune in if John Moxley's kind of deciding factor. Hopefully, there's people out there that love John Moxley and want to see him so much that with him not being on the show, it deters them from watching. So then when he does come back, even more people come back to watch. And Pac, yes, he was, Neville on WWE, but he wasn't that big of a star compared to what John Moxley was in WWE. So it wasn't that big of a deal, I don't think this match is as big of a deal as Moxley and Kenny. But as I said earlier, I think they can save it to make an even bigger deal down the line on whatever the next pay-per-view is, or just a main event of a TV show.
Carlos, thoughts?
I think they should bring Shooter from New Japan to wrestle Kenny Omega instead of Pac. The young boy that they gave Moxley to tag with in the G1.
Okay, that'd be interesting storytelling. I see where you're going with that, but
Shooter super over at the Super J Cup in San Francisco.
Really,
everybody loved Shooter.
Was my boy Carl Fredericks over?
Carl Frederick was over as well. He was definitely the most over young lion at everybody. Shooter was a close number 2.
Yeah, Carl Fredericks, former friend of the show.
He was impressive when he tagged with Kenta in the G1. Yeah, but
going back to the whole Omega Pac thing, I think the match will be good. I think they will deliver because we're going to talk about that once we get to the predictions. He also asked, "Will Ciampa make a shocking return? Will Ciampa make a shocking and delightful return to NXT when they debut on USA?" I don't know if Ciampa's ready for anything like that. I mean, he could just appear on TV. That'd be cool. But, I saw a video of him working out his neck earlier today. So, I mean, I think he still has about, 6 months before he's actually in-ring ready to go.
Ciampa to 205 Live, confirmed.
No? 205 Live, when Chad Gable's on the right, I do tune in.
I don't think Ciampa's going to show up on that first NXT show. I think they will try to load it up and try to have, at least one really good match on there. But as you said, I think Ciampa is maybe not 6 months away, but I think he's, 2 to 4 months away at the very least from coming back. And I think he will come back, and I think he'll be better than ever.
All right. And Brightest Day X also asks, are there any expectations for NWA when they begin TV tapings in October? Wow, October's full of wrestling TV. Hopefully they give us that old school feel, give me that Jim Crockett Promotions feel of the NWA. Nick Aldis, he has the oldest crusade in his possession. Let's have him run through it like he's I know he was a big Harley race guy. Let's have him give me those Harley race adjacent vibes,
Yeah, I mean, I think the show will be good. I think it might get lost, between AEW, NXT, and all the other stuff that WWE is producing. So the show probably will be good. I don't know exactly what to expect from an in-ring standpoint. I think the storytelling will be good because the videos that they produce, their 10 Pounds of Gold weekly show, is fantastic. So, I mean, the show is probably going to be good, but I'm afraid that it's going to get lost in the shuffle with so much stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they do something. Old school is how you stand out nowadays. I mean, I'm starting to see a couple people starting to talk about the boy Levi Shapiro who we've had on the show. So if they go back to that old school mentality, I think it could be a big win for the NWA in the long run.
We'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Carlos, any thoughts?
So you'd rather see a headlock than a spot? Is
that what
you're telling me?
Yeah, because, I mean, I look at it like this. These guys do all these crazy dives in a match. All that's fine. I'm impressed as hell with your athletic ability, but why are you doing the move? That's my point. One dive in a match is more memorable than 10 suicide dives and tope suicidas. I know that's the same move. But in tope con hilos, one dive means more than 6. The headlock, you're trying to wear your opponent down so that you can execute that big move to get the job done and possibly win the damn title.
Match finishes for NWA are just going to be drop kicks and DDTs.
Dude, I would love that. Go watch I think it was Buddy Rogers versus Pat O'Connor. I think Buddy just got his knee up and he pinned Pat O'Connor. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match and I popped huge for it. I think that was like back in '64 or something like that. Go check it out. It was great. But the last one from In Brightest Day is, when will we see The Fiend in a major storyline situation? In other words, I need my Fiend fix. I think we see him at Hell in the Cell.
The Golden One Center, the Sacramento arena that is hosting Hell in a Cell, tweeted out yesterday that the Fiend will challenge either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman in a Hell in a Cell match. So maybe that's a spoiler. Maybe it's just somebody messed up and they weren't supposed to tweet that and it's not supposed to happen or it is supposed to happen. Who knows? But it looks as though the Fiend's going to wrestle for the Universal Championship next week or next month.
Wait. When did this get tweeted out?
Got tweeted out yesterday.
I think today.
I had no recollection of this. Wow. Okay.
I keep up on the Twitter.
All right, for sure.
My boy Big Dave put it out on his website the other day.
You know how I feel about Big Dave.
Big Dave was at the Super J Cup.
He was.
Big Dave, Cain Velasquez, Jushin Liger. There's so many legends in that arena.
Did you just call Dave Meltzer a legend?
Oh yeah, he's even a bigger legend than Jushin Liger.
Oh my god! I might have to fire you from the show, Brandon. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you should bring the second young boy back.
No, God, no, never again.
Still my favorite episode.
I'm gonna. Oh my God! All right, our last DM slides are from Copenhagen Smith, and he says, "I know you boys are in college. What are your majors, and then what classes are you taking this term?" For me, I'm a radio and TV major. I think I've exceeded like the number of units I can take at Chabot. Jesus Christ. Nah, man, but I got a photography class. I have a business class this term. Got I think I have a political science class. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get it done. Carlos, why don't you go?
Okay, Carlos, what are you taking this semester?
I am working full-time for a company that works for Google, and I am taking night class, which is History 7.
Okay.
Which talks about like the earliest United States of America history, stuff like that.
Yeah, that history is boring. History 8's better.
Yeah.
Brandon,
get there.
Why don't you go?
Well, I'm a journalism major at San Francisco State University, home of Night 2 of the Super J Cup. And I am only taking 2 classes. They are a lab and lecture. This will be my final semester at the school. And I'm taking the world of plants. So catch me in a lab coat somewhere dissecting a blade of grass or something. I don't know.
Wow, I once dissected a pig. It was not a good time.
I did frog in high school. Apparently they do cats too.
They do cats. The class next to me did cats, and that hallway smelled like you know what. Yeah.
Moving on, let's talk about Raw.
Let's talk. Carlos, do you want to stay for the Raw recap or what?
Sadly, I don't really watch WWE that much, so
I guess this is going to be your curtain call. All right, Carlos. Well, thank you for coming by, man. We'll talk to you in the near future.
Yeah, sounds good. I haven't been here since December, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Hope to hear all the great questions for next week and conversation, and stay up to date with the wrestling. This is why I listen to Bulletcast.
Hey, man.
Is he the first third man since Young Boy number 2?
You are the first third man since Young Boy number 2, and a hell of an improvement. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Damn, I can't live up to that, though, man. The hype was real with Young Boy 2.
Look, eventually, I think I'm still trying to find a third person. I do enjoy the 3-man dynamic. I think that's because I've been watching WWE commentary for too long. But
why don't you put the title on the line on Royal Quest?
No, all out. Brandon and I, we have a score to settle.
Best out of 3, man. I like the sound of that. Like when you guys brought that up, I was thinking that before you even mentioned it. I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
I don't know, man. I mean, if that ever happens again in the future, then we shall see. But Carlos, I'm gonna let you go, man. You just celebrated a 1-year anniversary with your girl, right?
Yeah, we did last week, and that's why I didn't get to the Junior Cup.
Well,
wrestling show in San Francisco. But hey,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It
was.
When's the first ever Bulletcast wedding happening?
Oh my God, dude! Let's do it.
Yes, can I walk out with the title?
I mean, it depends on whoever's champion at the time. I'd let you, but Brandon, I don't know.
We could put the 24 hours, 24/7 stipulation on it, and I'll win it. But then afterwards, I'll lose it.
Kayfabe. All right, Carlos, man, we're going to let you go. Thank you for coming on for these past 50 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you next time, buddy.
I love you. Bye.
All right. Now it's just Brandon and myself. We got to get into the Raw recap. Jesus Christ. I didn't know we were going this long.
You add a third man, we just go even longer.
Hey, that's that. Ayo. All right. So the tag team champs are set to clash for the Universal Champ.
I got it.
You got it?
Shout out to Lonely Island. It's okay. It's in a three-way, but there was no lady in the middle. But it's okay.
Why are you going there? The tag team champions.
Because it's like 9 o'clock and we never do it this late on a regular episode, so I'm going insane right now.
Oh my god! Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins, the tag team champions, are set to clash at Clash of Champions for the Universal Championship. It was made official. Kind of liking this edge that Seth has going on. You know, he said, "Look, we're gonna defend our tag titles, and then you know what? In the main event, I'll take you on, big man." Seth's not a whiny little beep. Right now, he's stepping up to the plate. I like it, man. What are your thoughts on Seth Rollins stepping up?
It's a good, solid babyface at the moment feud. I think they're gonna keep it babyface. I mean, you could turn Braun heel, but I just think they're telling an okay storyline here. Nothing too spectacular right now because they haven't really cut an angle. They just really had that one promo backstage, and Braun just kind of stares lovingly at the belt. So maybe we're going to see maybe a turn next week or the week after, but it's pretty, simple stuff right now. Maybe they're going to turn it up the next couple weeks.
Yes. All right, we also have the United States Championship is on the line as AJ Styles successfully retains this title against Braun Strowman via disqualification. He pulled the old Eddie Guerrero collapsing while your opponent has a chair in their hands, but they never hit you with a trick. Yeah?
It was a cute finish. Now with WWE doing sometimes the finish where the referee from the back comes in to tell the referee that, oh, you messed up because this happened and blah, blah, blah. It kind of, I scratch my head of, why that doesn't happen all the time. So it's kind of like Pandora's box. Once you open it, once you do it one time, people are going to expect you to do it multiple other times. So it was a cute finish, but it didn't really make logical sense.
It's whatever, AJ's still the champion of our country. That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me.
After a good month of building the OC, all they are is just fodder to Braun Strowman right now.
That's all very, very true. It's a damn shame. It really, really is. All right, we're going to talk about Sasha Banks' promo. She finally gives us some answers. They kind of broke the fourth wall and talked about the reports of her backstage crying on the floor at WrestleMania. And she said she did. Talked about she took her ball and went home. She said she did. And then Natty comes out there. They brawl for a little bit. And then this leads to Sasha defeating Natty in a match. What are your thoughts on the promo than the match, Brandon? Hey guys, this is the Podfather. Had some technical difficulties during this episode. Now it's back to the BC.
I thought the Sasha Banks promo was maybe by far the best thing that happened on Raw this week. I thought the show itself was kind of lackluster, to okay, but I thought, as you said, kind of implementing the kind of shoot style, all the stuff that was reported online, I thought that was good. I've heard that this was, a Paul Heyman production, which gives me confidence, and maybe, Paul Heyman gets to do some things while Vince McMahon gets more influence on some other things, and I thought this was fantastic. I think this is kind of the way heels are gonna have to work nowadays in this realm of social media and everybody kind of knowing everything, where you have to kind of take those backstage stories and kind of twist them and make them, into the storyline. No matter what, if it's real or fabricated. So I really much enjoyed it. The match itself was good. Sasha was working over Natty's arm, so she wasn't really doing a whole lot in the match, and Sasha won. Natty was hurt, so she kind of has an excuse for losing, but overall, a really good week for Sasha Banks.
Absolutely. I'm a fan of Sasha. I've been saying this, she needed to be heel since the Sasha's Ratchet. No, she's not Days of NXT. I really love that aspect of Sasha's career. I'm incredibly happy that she's a heel. And this is leading to a title feud with her and Becky, obviously. I'm glad that they haven't touched yet. I'm glad that they haven't fought yet. I really am. Title feuds mean more when they haven't brawled all this time on TV and they have to get separated by the damn locker room and road agents and stuff. when they just
except for the time Sasha put a steel chair in the back of Becky's head.
I honestly forgot that happened.
But I thought it was kind of weird that Becky wasn't. Was Becky like even on the show, or am I just missing something?
No, I don't. She wasn't on the show. Not to my recollection.
So, and Seth was on the show, so it wasn't like, oh, because they got engaged, they took the week off. So I don't know why they didn't have Becky on the show.
Maybe Seth just filmed that pre-tape. Never know.
Maybe they did do it. They did it last week or whatever. I don't know. Possibly. Or well, maybe they say like that backstage promo thing was like filmed last week. So maybe that is the case.
That is a sure possibility. All right, well, we're going to move on from that. What else happened on Monday Night Raw? The first round of the King of the Ring is wrapped up for the Raw side. Ricochet defeats Drew McIntyre. I'm not going to lie to you, Brandon. I rolled my eyes when this happened. I'm like, Drew just can't have anything, can he? I know he hasn't been built up quite a bit lately, but I'm still like, he just can't have anything. But Ricochet's pops they're getting louder and louder every time he comes out, so they got a star on their hands.
Yeah, I think with Samoa Joe being the next opponent for this matchup, I think it would kind of telegraphed that Ricochet was going to win because I don't think they wanted to have McIntyre go up against Samoa Joe. I agree with you that I thought that they were going to build up McIntyre a little bit more, but maybe this just kind of shows that his fate is just going to be in the mid-card, maybe flirt with the main event every now and then, but he's not going to be pushed as that top-tier heel or even top-tier babyface, as we all think that he could be. So maybe if he wasn't going to win, maybe it's a good thing because maybe he loses to the eventual winner in Ricochet, but I think this could be a worrying sign, I think, for Drew McIntyre.
I really, really do believe it can be. I hope that made sense. But, the guy, he should have beat Roman at WrestleMania. Or if not then, he should have beat him at Stomping Ground or whatever the hell that pay-per-view was. It just, what are we doing to Drew, man? Like, why? I think, honestly, it's probably a good thing he didn't win King of the Ring because, the King of the Ring gimmick, especially if you're from the UK, you're kind of made a buffoon. It's just happened with Regal and Sheamus and Bad News Barrett. But, Drew needs to be the Scottish psychopath who needs to just kill somebody with a Claymore kick and win the damn world title. But I guess they just don't want to do that.
I think it's just what happens with WWE. No one is able to get over because everyone just loses and wins, and no one's able to really get over unless if you take the brass ring or whatever, kind of like how Becky did or whatever.
Absolutely. All right, next up we have King Corbin, future King Corbin, defeat The Miz. This was decent, man. For their styles, it was a decent match.
Yeah, the match was good for the participants in the ring, and as I said earlier, they're really playing up the whole King Corbin thing. So I think they're just trolling and getting people like me and Hootie Who worried that they're gonna actually pull the trigger on this. And if it is, I wouldn't be like so against it if he's just kind of like a lower card comedy heel. I'm fine with that. But if he gets pushed to the moon as King Corbin, then that's when I have an issue with it.
Hey man, he looked pretty nice with that crown. I'm not gonna lie. Corbin got a little ice on the top of his head. I'm digging it.
He usually wears the whatever floss gold chain. So
I know. Shout out to Corbin and the what is it, like the wife beater or whatever. It's a big step up from the vest and the shirt.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a waiter anymore.
No. If we can go back to the way he dressed even when he was on SmackDown, when he was U.S. champion, go back to the tights and the boots and just wrestling in the t-shirt. That's fine, too.
Yeah, I don't know why he's still wrestling like that. He's still wrestling like he's Constable Baron Corbin, but, who cares? It's Baron Corbin.
It's like president or king. Once a constable, once a president, once a king, you're always that.
Maybe. I haven't looked up the history of constables.
Yes. Have you looked up the history of tag teams in WWE? There have been so many great tag teams. There have been a couple mixed match, and this is it right here. This is just the oddball tag team, but it kind of makes sense because they're both heels. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler win tag team turmoil, even though it was a gauntlet. They defeat people like the B Team and Heavy Machinery and the Viking War Raider Experience and all these guys to an opportunity to go up against Strowman and Rollins at Clash of Champions for the tag titles. Do Do Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude win here?
Quite possibly. I'm not the biggest fan of having, all these matches, especially when it's kind of like the 2 out of 3 falls match where the first fall just ends quickly like that. There's a lot of finishes like that where it was not believable that these finishes would come so quickly. But with Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, they could be a fun tag team because both of them aren't really doing anything, or maybe aren't really destined to do anything as a single. So maybe just kind of put them together as a tag team and they could do something. And I think you can go either way with these two going into Clash of Champions. I think it depends on what they do with Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Do they do like a breakup angle going into it, so then that gives them a reason to lose the tag team titles to these guys, or they could just be fodder and Braun and Seth just kind of squash them. I think it works either way here.
Hey, no, I think they should just go on a nice little run. I'd love everything about it. I really, really would. Because people know how much I love Dolph. When I met him in person, he was such a nice guy to me. And then Robert Roode, look, I've been a fan of this guy since TNA. Like, go back and watch 2011 TNA when he beats James Storm for the TNA World Title. I mean, the guy is so damn good. These are probably two of the best sellers in the business teaming up together. And then they just had a chemistry that night. I don't know what it was. It flowed well together. I like it. I really, really do. I want those boys to win the tag titles come Clash of Champions in a couple weeks.
And they did the backstage promo, and Dolph Ziggler found his buddy who can yell on the microphone while cutting promos just like him.
Hey, how do you not like those Dolph promos when he yells? It gets me fired up.
Him and Samoa Joe need to cut that back.
Samoa Joes are always great. But when Joe gets quiet with it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be good.
Moving on, what about Bayley and Nikki Cross?
Well, Bayley defeated Nikki Cross. There's nothing really to say there.
Nobody got hurt, and that's all I can ask for.
Yep, Cedric Alexander, the age of Alexander. There's only one age I care about. It's the age of Orton. We're going to talk about that. But Cedric, he defeats Cesaro. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. It didn't really make sense why he was in a match and why Samoa Joe wasn't in a match, because that's kind of, off. It's kind of whatever. It's not fair to Cedric to be in a match if Samoa Joe's not in a match, but they're trying to tell the story of Alexander having his leg hurt and him being the underdog going into next week. And shout out to Cesaro, got his braces off. He can finally eat an apple, and he's happy about that.
Shout out Cesaro. Swiss Superman. Alright, SmackDown Live. So Randy Orton attacks Kofi Kingston in Gorilla after Randy read a note from Kofi's son. I thought they were going to do an angle where Randy goes to the hotel room or whatever. I really did, but they didn't. They didn't go there. But yeah, man, Kofi eats that Hangman's DDT onto the floor in the gorilla position. What are your thoughts?
Good, solid storytelling with Randy being the over-the-top heel, making, threatening to visit the kids and the wife. So I thought it's good. Kofi showed good fire. I keep saying it. The storytelling, the angles and everything are good. But then when it gets to the ring, match is not going to be that good.
Dude, you know what? This is the exact same thing that happened at SummerSlam with AJ and Samoa Joe. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, well, everything is recycled. There's no such thing as an original idea anymore.
The Fiend's original.
It could be argued that maybe it's, just a blended of all these different types of things.
I've never seen a head lantern in my life.
Well, you ain't hanging out at the right parties then.
Wait, what? What?
Just gonna leave it alone. Just gonna leave it there.
Stupid. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really know why he's doing that. It's kind of weird and kind of annoying, but yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that to people now. I found my new thing. Randy Orton would go on to defeat Big E Langston. I'm gonna put that back on there.
Good match. I thought Big E definitely showed some fire. He was serious for the most part. He did that spot where he was spanking Randy Orton, which kind of seemed a little out of place. But I think we kind of got a glimpse of serious Big E, which I think is money Big E. And I don't know where we're going to go with Kofi and New Day from now on. But I think Big E could be a good, serious babyface or heel in the singles division, whichever way you want to go.
Did you watch NXT when Big E was the champ back in the Hulu days of NXT?
No, usually for Hulu, I just get my 1 week of free Hulu and I watch the Minty Project, and then I delete it.
Okay, I didn't actually have Hulu, but I would catch a couple episodes online. Big E as NXT champion, absolute fire. This is back when Bo Dallas meant something. Like Big E, he can be the champ. He really can. He could be that guy.
And he's big and beefy, so Vince McMahon will love him.
God damn! Look at all that beef. Speaking of another man that's big and beefy that Vince McMahon really likes, we're going to talk about Roman Reigns. He finally has the proof that it was Rowan that attacked him. So Dan and Bryan and Rowan are backstage, and then Roman says, "Hey, I have a clip. We're going to watch this while Roman's out in the ring." And it's Rowan pushing over some cases after the scalpel thing falls down on Roman. And then Daniel Bryan just starts slapping Rowan. He's like, "What is that? What is that? Why did you do this?" And then Rowan kind of admitted to it. Why didn't Daniel... Like, this is how you should have done this. This should have happened earlier, and then the next week, Daniel presents Roman Reigns with that fake Rowan. That's how this should have went down. All right? I don't know why it happened like this. And shout out to my boy Sam Roberts. He basically predicted this, that Rowan was going to do this without Daniel Bryan's knowledge, but then we find out it's actually going to be Daniel Bryan. So he's been pretty much right about this whole storyline.
Well, this is quite possibly the stupidest payoff for an angle in probably wrestling history.
I don't think it's paid off yet, man. I really don't.
I mean, this was so dumb. It made no sense. They show the angle of, which is like the same angle, it seems, as we've seen like 20,000 times in all these video packages, and now we get a Rowan lookalike being shown at the scene of the crime, which was the whole point of the Rowan lookalike last week. So why? And there was no like conclusive evidence to show that that was Rowan or the guy from last week. It was just so sloppily written, and then Daniel Bryan slaps him, and he just gets speared. It was terrible. I was kind of having some high hopes that maybe they just pull something out of the blue. I mean, we make fun of Rikishi, but at least Rikishi was out of the blue, and they kind of made some sort of sense out of it. And we keep forgetting, like, Roman Reigns almost got murdered by a car. We never talk about that incident. We only talk about the scaffolding incident.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not talking about him almost getting hit by a car. Maybe that comes into play. Maybe that was somebody else. We don't know.
Maybe that was Rikishi, because we all know Rikishi likes to run over people.
I did it for The Rock. Still one of my favorite lines of all time. Yeah, man, I don't know where they're going with this. Hopefully there's more to the story. They're just trying to do cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger, and I'm like, that's not how you do it, man.
Like, and if Vince McMahon had a hand in this, and he's like the main source of this storytelling, this should just be Exhibit A, number one reason why Vince should not be telling stories and in power in WWE right now. This was terrible.
Look, man, I don't know. These people need to watch novellas or Days of Our Lives or something, because at least on Days of Our Lives, the cliffhangers, they make sense, and you got people coming back from the dead and whatnot. I don't know, but they need to watch some soap operas. This is not good.
I feel like Charlie Brown with the football. I got excited. Maybe I had some hope that they were going to actually tell a decent story and it was going to have a good payoff. Nope. It didn't.
It did not. I mean, hopefully there's more. I pray to God there's more. Maybe Buddy Murphy gets inserted into the whole Roman Reigns storyline, because you can't just take him out of this after he was such an interesting part of it. So Buddy Murphy takes an L to Ali in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament for SmackDown, and I'm not going to lie to you, I did a big, oh my God, but I took some time to think about it. Maybe there's a bigger picture for my boy Buddy Murphy. By the way, go check him out on this State of Combat podcast. He does a great interview with those guys over there for CBS Sports. Maybe Roman's going to need a partner, and maybe it's Buddy Murphy. He's like, hey, man, I know we've had our differences, but you earned my respect in that match we had a few weeks ago. Help me deal with these clowns. And Murphy's probably like, okay. And then he gets to mix it up kind of sort of in the main event with a guy of Roman Reigns' stature. Then we get to see more of Murphy and Bryan in the ring together, which is going to be really cool. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've been saying this for weeks, that Buddy Murphy could be teaming with Roman Reigns. No one listens to me on this podcast.
I listen to you, buddy.
You still remember what I say.
That's very true.
Okay. So the match, the King of the Ring match, was good. I'm pretty sure they've had much better matches on 205 Live. And with this match and the Gable Benjamin match being so short, I don't know. We can talk about it. I don't know why they gave such little time to the King of the Ring matches and yet so much time to the Bayley Lacey Evans match.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was really looking forward to what is it, Gable and Benjamin. I was really looking forward to that happening, but we got about 90 seconds of it, and yeah, Chad Gable defeats Sean Benjamin.
I mean, it's good that Chad Gable actually won because he's been being bullied and made, called short for all these weeks. And are we just going to forget about Chad Gable taking notes backstage and Sheldon Benjamin darting his eyes around while he was following a fly during a promo segment? Like those two characteristics or whatever they were doing, trying to tell a story there, had nothing to do with this match.
Absolutely nothing to do with this match.
What the hell? They're just throwing things out there, some white, some things to remember, and something that for Chad Gable to do, and then he just completely drops it.
I don't know, man. Maybe he was taking notes to kind of learn about his competition, learn about what's going on the Blue brand.
Yeah, I don't know. No. I'm losing faith. If it wasn't for this podcast, who knows? I might not be watching WWE.
Wow! Don't say things like. Don't become one of those people. Now, they do give us good things. In ring wise, it was pretty decent this week. Shinsuke Nakamura attacks The Miz. Sami Zayn was annoying as hell on the microphone this week, and I like that. I really, really do. I enjoy that.
I think Sami Zayn might be toting the line of Lio Rush territory of how annoying he was, which can be a good or bad thing.
Shout out Lio Rush. He's still with the company, actually. He was on the Cheap Heat podcast last week. It was a very good listen.
He still has a job with them?
Yes,
they're just they're just scared of anybody going to AEW, aren't they?
No, he's doing his own thing. He's taking care of his kid, his wife. He's making music right now. I heard I think it was like Synthetic Energy or something. It was an interesting little. It was more like a spoken word piece than a song, but it was decent.
Shout out Lio Rush. He's annoying, but he's a damn good wrestler.
He is. He could talk too. 24-year-old piece of gold. All right, we're gonna move on to Bayley and Lacey Evans. Was this Lacey's best match on the main roster?
No, not even close. This match was trash.
Honestly, I was barely paying attention to it. I'm not gonna lie. I saw her hit that moonsault, and then I saw her grab the rope after the Bayley belly.
I mean, I think her best match ever was like a match with Becky Lynch, which should prove, without a shadow of a doubt, I think, she's wrestled everybody except for Sasha, that Becky is the best wrestler in the Four Horsemen.
I don't know why you keep saying that, man. I really don't.
No, it's true. Becky Lynch. It goes Becky, Sasha. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling good today, so I'll give Charlotte number 3 and then Bayley.
Wow. I found something, and I thought of you when I found this. So I'm gonna send it to you now, and I want you to just kind of give me your thoughts about this.
Oh God, is it on the text message?
Yeah. Send it straight to your phone. But I mean Bayley and Lacey, it was okay. I haven't seen Lacey Evans in a while.
Whoa! It's a picture of a Neanderthal skull, and it says Charlotte's haters. I'm not saying I'm a hater of Charlotte. I'm just saying that I think she's a tad bit overrated compared to how everybody else bows down to the queen and says how great she is. I'm just saying.
Does Andrade bow down?
I'm not gonna go there. In any, out of the 4 horsewomen, I'm just saying all of them are super talented, and I just think that. Especially Sasha. I think Sasha and Becky are way better than Charlotte.
I mean, how dare you talk about Charlotte Flair? Possibly the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Yeah.
Well, North American women's wrestler of all time. We're not going to get in Japan.
Is she better than all of them?
I don't know about that.
Why would you say that, bro?
Once again, I'm not hating.
Yes, you are.
I'm just saying, I'm not hating. Dude, I'm not saying she's trash. I'm just saying she's not, the GOAT like you keep saying she is.
Look, I don't know, man. I got some feels when she was wrestling Trish at SummerSlam. I got some real feels. I did. But Charlotte's damn good. She is. You can't lie.
She's pretty good.
Go watch that 2016 run. Oh my God, the feel spots. They invaded my feel holes. Oh God.
Who was she wrestling against?
Sasha.
My point exactly.
Wow. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. During the NXT run, I was Sasha Banks all day, and now that Sasha has blue hair, I'm kind of back. I'm going back towards that. The 24/7 championship changed hands as Drake Maverick defeated Elias, and then did a couple victory laps. I thought R-Truth was gonna take it from him during those, but no. And shout out Renee Michelle. She made an appearance on a WWE.com exclusive. It was all fun and games. Thoughts on Drake Maverick finally being able to consummate his marriage?
Good for Drake Maverick. I think this 24/7 shenanigans in terms of this group of people with R-Truth and Drake Maverick are kind of run its course. They did a little segment on Fox Sports for college football. I think it was a disgrace that my favorite college football player of all time, Reggie Bush, did not get a run with the 24/7 championship. It's a damn shame.
Sorry, bro. Wait, Reggie Bush?
You know, Bush and the Tush with Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I was like, Reggie. Shout out, Reggie. Shout out, RB.
I got a Reggie Bush jersey in the closet. Reggie Bush, USC, greatest college football player of all time. Don't at me.
Dude, not Tim Tebow. What the hell was his name? Trent Richardson?
O.J. Simpson?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I said Trent Richardson, buddy.
Oh, I mean, Simpson, Richardson, they're almost the same name. I mean,
Trent Orenthal? No. No.
Oh, well, I mean, OJ might have done some bad things, or maybe not have done some bad things. Who knows? But he's still a damn good football player.
So Trent Richardson? Yes, no.
No.
Why not?
Reggie Bush, way better.
Dude, look, I met Trent Richardson a couple years ago when I was going to school in Florida. Really nice dude. Really nice guy.
Still salty that I sent a postcard or whatever to Reggie Bush in like 6th grade. Never wrote me back.
I mean, he was probably dealing with some Kim K troubles at the time.
Probably.
You can understand.
But it's okay. He got a ring because of it. Not a wedding ring, but a Super Bowl ring.
Hey, there you go. What team did he play for?
Played for the Saints.
Oh,
I got my little bobblehead collection. I got a Reggie Bush bobblehead right above my head right now.
Maybe we should have some Bulletcast bobbleheads.
Maybe we should. Maybe people actually buy those instead of the T-shirts, because apparently nobody wants to buy those.
People need to buy the shirts.
If you buy the shirts, we can put up new designs. You can buy even more shirts, line our pockets. We can do much better things, get better technology, better trips. We can go on trips. We can do videos. We could be like the next Cultaholics or something. Who knows?
Absolutely, man. Yes, we just need people to buy the shirts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend it is the biggest show in AEW history. Double or Nothing was pretty huge, but this one is the last one before they'd make that launch over to TNT in October. This one needs to succeed. All Out, I said it last year, I'll say it again, it was an absolute godsend. Hit me in the feel spot. In May, Double or Nothing, Brandon, you were there. You can honestly tell me that was the greatest wrestling show you've ever been to. It was like that for me. All Out in Chicago, they need to succeed. They need to hit it out of the park. I think Tony, the Bucks, Cody, and Kenny, I think they have a great plan for what we're going to witness this Saturday.
Yeah, I think this show's going to be really good. Will it be better than Double or Nothing? We'll have to stay tuned and find out.
It needs to be.
This show's gonna be damn good. As you said, it's kind of the last of an era, because it's gonna be, the last one before they get to the TNT show. So, it's built primarily off of YouTube and internet stuff. So, but it's still a very well built show. Storylines going into it are very well built. So, it's gonna be only better, I hope, going into the TNT run.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into the predictions. The Bulletcast title's on the line. I didn't lose it All Out. I won it Double or Nothing. I'm looking to win. I'm looking to win it All Out.
So what you're saying is you're undefeated at AEW events.
That's basically what I'm saying, because Cody's my guy. He gets it.
So this is 2 out of 3, kind of. So I'm like Kenny Omega. You're Okada. You might have won the first 2, but I'm going to win the last one. I'm going to win the one that matters.
Hey, man. We can see, man. I'm getting fired up. I feel like I'm about to elbow drop my jacket like Nate did. I don't know. We're going to find out. Coming up first, we have the Best Friends going up against the Dark Order. This is to advance in the tag team tournament for the AEW Tag Team Championships. I don't know, man. The Dark Order, they've been pushing those boys pretty heavily. The Best Friends, they have a nice shtick. They're They're sometimes prominently on being the elite. Brandon, who do you have?
Well, this match is for whoever wins will gain a first round bye in the tag team tournament. So neither one of them are out of the tournament. They actually lose, but I think the Dark Order is going to win. I think you have the heels get the first round bye, and you have the Best Friends, who maybe not one of the better, maybe not the best tag team in the division, but definitely one of the more over tag teams. They can kind of fight from underneath, and they can kind of make a run for it. And maybe they meet them in the semifinals or quarterfinals or something and have a rematch. So I'm going to go with the Dark Order to win on this one.
All right, you got the DO. BT picks the DO. I'm just really trying to think about it. You know, the Best Friends, they're cool, they're okay. But the Dark Order, they're so unique and weird, and AEW's talking about being original. I might have to go with those guys also.
So original.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, next up we have Rio going up against. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh,
you got this. You got this.
Hikaru Shida. I pray to God.
I think you got the last name, but I'm pretty sure you butchered the first name.
Hikaru.
There we go. I think that's better.
Hikaru Shida. Yes, there we go. Rio, I'll pick her.
Well, this one, I think it's a toss-up. I think you can go either way. So since you're going to go with Rio, I will go with Shida for the victory. No real explanation here, just kind of switching it up and taking a flyer, hopefully, to get a point for the Bulletcast Championship retention.
Absolutely. Next up, we have a six-man tag. We have Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt going up against SCU, SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, and Christopher Daniels. Oh man, this is an interesting one. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, they've been getting built up quite a bit on being the elite, and you know they seem to be over. People seem to like them. They're buying that damn Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus T-shirt, a boy and his dinosaur, and they added Marco Stunt into the mix. But SCU, you know, they just took a loss to what is it, Pentagon of Phoenix, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna go SCU, man.
I'm with you here. I think this match can go either way, but I will go with Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt for the victory. I think this match will kick off the main card and to give them a nice babyface pop. I think with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy probably being one of the, not the favorites, but definitely a crowd favorite in the tag team tournament. I think giving them a win here, because I don't think they've actually won yet as a tag team, so I think giving them this win here could boost them. I think SCU is kind of, they can lose or they can win. I don't think it's going to hurt them or help them either which way. So I think giving Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt the win here can definitely elevate them.
All right, we have the 20-woman casino battle royale. It's do they automatically become number one contender if they win this, right? For the women's title?
Winner is entered into the whatever championship match on the first show on TNT. We don't know who the other woman is going to be, how that will be determined, but I think it's an easy pick. I will go with Dr. Britt Baker for the victory. She is kind of the most built-up woman on the roster. They've really been pushing her hard. I think Nyla Rose, Allie, I think, a lot of those women. Well, Allie wasn't on Double or Nothing in terms of the match, but I think a lot of those women on that first Double or Nothing show are going to be the higher ups and one of the more favorites. I think we could see some surprises. I know we're not going to get a point for surprises, but I would not be shocked if we see the Smoke Show in the Casino Battle Royal. I think that could be a lot of fun. But Jazz is going to be there. Kong's going to be there. So it should be star-studded, but I will go with DDS, Dr. Britt Baker, for the victory.
Yeah, because that championship match is happening in her hometown, correct?
I'm not sure if it's actually on the Pittsburgh show. I thought it was maybe the first show of the year, but I don't know. But I think Britt Baker is one of the top women, maybe the top woman in that company in terms of talent and total package. I think she's great. So it's an easy pick, but I think it's a sensible one. And last year we had the Flip Gordon surprise, so maybe they do another one of a surprise victory in the Battle Royal.
Is Nyla Rose in this?
I don't know if she's been announced, but I'd be shocked if she wasn't, because she's one of the few, mainstays on the roster. So I think pretty much the entire women's roster is going to be in this Battle Royal.
Yeah, I mean, they got Teal Piper and all that other. I'll go Nyla Rose.
Okay, I mean, I think that's a sensible pick. She's one of the bigger women. She's been, she was there since the beginning. I I would love to see Jazz. I think Jazz could be fun, but I think she's just going to kind of get in there, do a spot, and get knocked out.
Dude, and Jazz is bald now. I noticed that. I'm like, oh god.
If you haven't, go back and watch the Road to All Out shows. They've been absolutely fantastic. We're going to talk about one for the promo pick of the week, but shout out to Jake the Snake Roberts. He was the dealer for the women, and he said that, you won't play 21, he's got 22, so a nice little callback to his drunken tirade he had a few years ago. So at least he's owning up to it, and he's making it funny.
Shout out Jake Roberts. Speaking of Jake, you know what his warm-up match ritual used to be?
Smoking a cigarette and, I don't know, taking a piss.
Yep, that's about it. Taking that last drag of that cigarette and just going out there, man. Shout out to Steve Austin. I think that was on Hot Ones where he announced that. And I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. That explains a lot.
Shout out Steve Austin. I love Hot Ones. Maybe not the best one with the wrestler. I think the Sasha Banks. Once again, Sasha Banks. One of the best women's wrestler of all time, and the Chris Jericho Hot Ones. I think were better than Stone Cold, but Stone Cold is always fascinating. Shout out to the latest episode of Straight Up. Steve Austin had Baker Mayfield, Cleveland quarterback. Another banger.
Another banger. All right, next up we got Private Party going up against Angelico and Jack Evans. I got Private Party, man.
I got Private Party as well. This match will be on the pre-show. I think Private Party is a up-and-coming tag team. I think they are definitely being built to be one of the top tag teams in the division outside of Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. They are going to be facing the Young Bucks on one of those first TNT shows, I believe, in a first-round matchup for the tag team tournament. And I think they need to be built up. I think Angelico and Jack Evans are a good tag team. I think, they have the history of everything, but I think Private Party is definitely on the come up compared to those two lads.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Young Bucks go up against the Lucha Bros in a ladder match for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. This is very interesting. They've been trading wins back and forth here in the States and then down in Mexico, with the Bucks going over at Double or Nothing and then going over with Kenny Omega at, Fyter Fest in that 6-man tag. Brandon, you're a big Bucks guy, so am I. Who do you have going over here, the Lucha Bros or the Bucks?
I mean, this one can go either which way. I'm predicting this is going to be the best match of the show. As you said, they kept trading wins back and forth. Too bad we don't have Carlos on the show to properly pronounce this match. It's the Escalera de la Muerte, the Stairway to Hell or Stairway to Death, whatever the exact translation is. But this match will be fantastic. I think we can see either, I think both champions going into it. I mean, both champions. I think whoever wins this match, the loser of the match will, I think, eventually become the AEW champions, and we can see maybe, a 2-for-1 champion versus champion. I will go with the Lucha Bros for the victory. I mean, really? I know the Young Bucks have kind of, won on American soil. They beat them at Double or Nothing. So maybe they can, the Lucha Bros get the victory in America.
Okay. I'm trying to think about it. I think you do have the Bucks become the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions. It just makes sense. Jesus, man. I'm conflicted, Brandon. I am. I'll go Lucha Bros.
We've been picking, we've been picking similar too much. Go out on a limb. Take your boy the Young Bucks.
And then I just lose it?
No, I'm just saying, you can go out on a limb, even though I think these final few matches we're going to go a little bit differently, but take whoever you want.
I will pick the Bucks of Youth. All right. Next up, Kenny Omega versus Pac. Pac is replacing Jon Moxley after Jon had a MRSA staph infection return into his elbow. Kenny Omega is going to go over, man. That's what I feel. He got a big win against Shima. We haven't seen Kenny wrestle a lot. He's wrestled maybe, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 times this year, which is unusual for Kenny Omega. He would have wrestled like 70 times by now or something like that. Because I think Pac can afford to take the loss on such a big show. It doesn't really hurt him because we haven't seen what he's been doing a lot of.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Kenny, I don't know if I'd say he needs the win, but I think Kenny is still kind of recovering from his loss to Chris Jericho. He hasn't wrestled a lot, which could be a good thing, which means maybe he's getting healthy, maybe he's healing up after all those matches he had in New Japan. With Pac being the late addition, I don't think he's going to lose anything from losing to Kenny. I mean, we don't even know if Pac is officially with AEW. This could just be a one-off.
He's officially with AEW.
Okay,
he's on their roster.
I still think Kenny Omega needs to be a higher priority. He could be the top guy in the company. So I think you give him the win here. I think this could be possibly the best match of the show as well. I think this could be a better match than what Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley could have produced, to be honest with you. But I think in the end, Kenny will get the dub with the One Wing Angel.
All right, next up, the American Nightmare, Executive Vice President of All Elite Wrestling, Cody.
Whoa! I just remembered you skipped over the Cracker Barrel Clash, the triple threat match.
Oh my God, did I?
Did.
I did. I'm sorry.
How can we forget that Cracker Barrel Clash?
How could we? Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc versus Joey Janela, the bad boy. Darby Allin, he was almost made at, what was that, Fyter Fest? But then, of course, the chair shot is what people were talking about after. And Jimmy Havoc, we haven't really seen that much of Jimmy Havoc in AEW than Joey Janela. Probably the bigger star out of the three of these guys.
I will go with Jimmy Havoc. I think Darby Allin had his moment with Cody. Joey Janela had his moment with Jon Moxley. So I think now this is Jimmy Havoc's time. I think Joey and Darby are going to do something stupid. I don't know exactly what the rules are of this match. Maybe it's going to be a triple threat death match. But I think Jimmy will pull out the victory, and maybe they boost him up a little bit, and he can maybe do a full-fledged heel turn on both these guys since they're so lovable.
Yeah. I was just watching some Jimmy Havoc deathmatch stuff last night, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's insane. And it's not really as hardcore because Darby Allin just throws himself, and Joey Janela kind of the same. So, Jimmy's my pick as well. All right. Now we're going to get into it. The Executive Vice President of All Elite Wrestling, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is going up against the Perfect 10, the Chairman, Shawn Spears. I made a declaration when I first started this podcast. When picking matches, never bet against the Dream, never bet against Cody. I'm picking my boy Cody. Don't call him Rhodes.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. Not picking this just because I knew you were going to pick the other guy, but I will go with Shawn Spears because I think he will win. We don't know who the person in Cody's corner will be. Maybe we get a surprise in Arn Anderson, and maybe Cody Rhodes turns into Sting and he just trusts the wrong people and he gets turned on and it's the Four Horsemen against the Rhodes all over again. But I think Cody has been winning a lot. Shawn Spears, new guy, hasn't had a match, or he had the match, but this is kind of his first big match in AEW. I think you give him the win here, and you can go on down the line, continuing this story, and have Cody win in the end. But I think right now you give Shawn the victory.
It's very true. It's very true. All right, well, it is the main event. It is Hangman Adam Page going up against the legendary Lionheart, the GOAT, the Painmaker Y2J, the Alpha Chris Jericho. Winner becomes the first ever, the inaugural All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. This is a very, very important match. Does this make Hangman Page? His family's going to be there. And Chris Jericho, he doesn't want his family there. Why? He's done everything that you can do in this business. Television titles, U.S. titles, tag, IC, world championships. But this one, it just feels different for Jericho, man. I don't know where to go. I really don't. This is a new company. Do you pick the bigger star to be your champ, or do you go out and take a limb? That's what this company's built on. Taking a bet on yourself. Do you take a bet with the younger guy and make him the inaugural champ?
I think going with Chris Jericho might send the wrong message of trying to ride off the coattails of WWE, whether it be true or not. But I think they will go with Hangman Page as the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not saying he's going to be their top guy forever. He's going to have an Okada run and, hold it for 16 months and just defeat everybody. But I think he can be made in this match, maybe a star-making performance. Who knows? Jericho can have good matches to great matches with the right opponents. Who knows if Hangman is that right opponent? But I think Hangman maybe not doesn't need the win, but I think he can gain a lot from this victory. And just going forward, I think just having your guy be the first ever AEW champion does say a lot for the company. It doesn't mean Jericho can't win it, but I just think being the first one, it just sends a message of like, this is our guy. We're not going to use WWE. We're going to, we're building up our own stars here.
Very well. I do think Hangman would be better in the chase. I really, really do. So with that being said, I'm picking Chris Jericho.
As I thought you would. I knew you were going to pick Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes, so I knew I had at least 2 matches different from you.
Wow. All right, we're going to recap them here. So, the best friends in the Dark Order, we both picked the Dark Order. Rio and, oh my God, Shida. I pick Rio, you pick Shida. Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt going up against SCU. I got SCU, you got Jungle Boy, Marco, and Lucha. The 21-woman casino battle royale, you got Britt Baker, I got Nyla Rose. Private Party versus Angelico and Jack Evans, both got Private Party. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, you got the Lucha Bros, I got the Young Bucks. Omega versus Pac, we both have Omega. The Triple Threat, Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela, we both have Havoc. Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears, I got Cody, you got Shawn. And the main event for the AEW World title, you got Hangman, I got Chris Jericho. Yeah.
May the best man win.
May the best man win. I'm coming back for my title. Let it be known. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up. This is the longest show in the history of this podcast. Superstar Spotlight, Brandon. It's obviously the Super Junior show you went to. Tell us about it.
Well, it's not just a Super Junior show. I will talk about someone who maybe we've never even talked about on this podcast, and that will be Sho from Roppongi 3K. He had a match up against Will Ospreay, who I've been singing the praises from the past few months. I think he's the best wrestler in the world. He had a match against Sho in the main event of this match, and by God, this was one of the best matches I've ever seen. Definitely the best non-televised match I will ever see. It'll be on New Japan World, I think, by next month, so definitely go out of your way to check that out. The show itself was great. The only people I cared about seeing was Will Ospreay and Jushin Liger, and both of them lived up to the hype.
And Carl Fredericks.
But I've seen them many, many times before.
Yeah, didn't they have meet and greets?
They did have meet and greets. I did not go, but they were actually very cheap. You could meet Juice Robinson, Will Ospreay, and Taguchi, $30 each. So not too bad. Definitely a lot better than StarCast prices.
Oh yes, and for the people who are going to be out there at StarCast, enjoy it. Do you remember the guy who had Cody Rhodes cut into his hair for Double or Nothing?
I do not know what you're talking about.
You didn't see the guy hit Double or Nothing in his hair, and then he had Cody Rhodes' face in his hair?
No, but I did see the Chris Jericho guy.
Yeah, no, that's the same guy.
Oh, it's the same as that guy? Oh, well,
yeah.
Good for him.
He was actually in
He's got a gimmick.
He was in that focus group I did. Yeah, he was a chill dude. My Superstar Spotlight is going to be everybody with All Elite Wrestling. I think they will hit this out of the park. They absolutely have to. I'm excited for what these boys and girls are going to do this Saturday coming up. All right, our promo pick of the week, it's All Elite Wrestling all day on this show right now. Brandon, take it away.
As I said, the Road to All Out has been a spectacular YouTube series on the All Elite Wrestling YouTube channel. We're going to talk about episode 6. It is all about Brandy Rhodes. She cuts a sit-down promo with a black backdrop. They've done this kind of thing before with Cody Rhodes. I think Kenny Omega kind of did it as well. It's just a 3-minute long kind of monologue of Brandy talking about Cody's match with Shawn Spears, the chair shot heard around the world. I know we don't see a lot of Brandy, but I think this is by far the best promo she has ever cut. All these videos are under 10 minutes, I think, for the most part, so you can definitely watch every single one by the time All Out takes place on Saturday, so definitely go and check all of them out.
Yes, do it. I saw this when it came out, and I was very, very pleased with what Brandy had to say. She talked about her husband's career and how, that people say, oh, it was legacy that got him to where he is, or it was his father and stuff like that. But, Cody's kind of blazed his own path, man. Left the Juggernaut, took a bet on himself, and look where we are today.
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of another example of not scripting. I don't know exactly how the scripting process worked or the creative process worked, but just having somebody sit down and just kind of talk for 4 or 5 minutes and have a couple of videos played in the background. It's simple. It takes up time. I know it's not a 12-minute monologue in the middle of the ring like what WWE likes to do, but hopefully this is something that happens regularly on the TNT show, because if it does, I think AEW is definitely going in the right direction.
Absolutely. All right, our closing match pick of the week, Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, AEW Double or Nothing, May 25th, 2019. Brandon and I were both in attendance. It was damn good. It just felt different. It felt different, man.
Yeah, it was a good match. I think maybe I was a little tired coming off the high of the Cody and Dustin match, as well as the tag team match that we will see a rematch of at All Out. But this match was good. It was different. It was hard hitting, almost kind of a New Japan style match. Almost, a lot of hard hitting, some hardcore elements thrown in there. I think maybe an underrated match, just because I think everyone's talking about those other two matches. But this match, it was the main event. Maybe not the best match on the show, but it was still a damn good match.
Absolutely, man. It was awesome, especially the Jericho entrance with all the different incarnations, the list, the Lionheart, the Save Us, and then to what he is today. It really speaks to me, man.
And then, of course, Jon Moxley at the end comes out and just lays everybody out.
Oh my God, that was great. Hopefully, we get Moxley versus Jericho down the line, and then we can kind of have a make good from the Ambrose Asylum match.
I know we've gone on so long, but just a simple yes or no answer. Is CM Punk going to be at the show?
Yes.
You say yes? I say no?
If I get that right, I get the title, regardless of how many matches I get.
How about we add a point to that?
Okay, that's fine. Add a point.
Okay. I will agree to that.
If I don't get it right, it just doesn't happen.
It's okay. I mean, if you get a point, I will be very happy that you got a point.
We shall see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, The Bulletcast. Email us, bulletcast2 @sweet@gmail.com. 99.9 FM and KW in Watsonville every Friday night, 9 to 10 p.m. It's actually going to have to be probably like 9 o'clock to midnight due to how long this podcast has been. This is actually 2 separate recordings of the show. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Pro Wrestling T /Bulletcast, Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy All Out this weekend. If you're in attendance for StarCast, have a blast. Go get you some brewskis, raise them up, give it a hell yeah. Meet Punk, meet everybody. I'm so incredibly happy for All Elite Wrestling. This week is going to be a damn good show. Brandon, I'll talk to you later. And we are doing a recap of All Out, ladies and gentlemen. You got to. There's just no other way to do it. Brandon, I'll talk to you next time.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.